freedom,
family,
world unity.
All these things and more will be discussed on this podcast.
Real stories, real people, real debates. On this podcast, we like to express our freedoms and talk about anything and everything goes.
Like freedom, family is important to us, and anybody that is listening, watching, or coming on the show as a guest star are all considered part of the greatest family to ever bless the solar system, the human race. No matter who you are, where you come from, you will always have a voice here on this podcast.
We like to flex our First Amendment, where all speeches and opinions are accepted for the right of freedom of speech. We have a saying we like to live by. Live life with eyes wide open. Being open-minded leads to true understanding of the world as it really is. Please, come, join us, and enjoy this experience as we embark on this journey of truth as we dismantle the subjective truth. I'm your host, Nick.
And I'm your co-host, Victoria.
And you're experiencing Heye Consciousness.
Disclaimer. Any and all information on topics presented are to the best of all who is present in each episode's knowledge. The goal of this podcast is to bring people together and set the example we all wish to see in our everyday lives. Whether it's home life, education, politics, history, business, etc. Any and all subjects can and will be talked and peacefully debated about on this podcast. On debate episodes, there will be a set rules of debate that hosts and guests alike must follow. We ask that you, the audience, like we ask of our guests, in the comments to please try to keep the language as clean as possible. We are a podcast for entertainment as well as educational purposes. Here, we are all equal no matter what race, age, or gender. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Hi, y'all.
And welcome back
to another episode of
Heye Consciousness. I'm your host, Nick.
I'm your co-host, Victoria.
I'm your friendly neighborhood editor.
He might be your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
You might never know. And welcome back to another episode of Heye Consciousness, y'all. And on today's episode, it's Thursday, today is not only America Narrative History Day, but today is game day! Dolphins versus the Bills, baby!
Yep, it's gonna be a big one tonight.
Big old rivalry. Can't freaking wait to watch the Dolphins, just decimate those freaking Buffalo Bills, man. I love New York. It's where my family's from, but I'm a Dolphins fan. I'm sorry. And half of my family also comes from Florida. So it's kind of like a house divided within. But Dolphins.
So that's why you see us, all three of us, wearing our jerseys, because we're all big Dolphins fans. Well, I'm a big Dolphins fan.
I love Waddle.
Tyler
I was dragged into this.
Yes.
Unwillingly.
But it's okay. Because we will convert... No, we're going to convert him over to the Dolphins, to the Fins side of things anyway.
Go Fins!
You like how I did that, didn't you?
Yes.
But anyways, so, today is Thursday, and we're going to be reading America Narrative History. Last week was Victoria's turn to read, now it's going to be my turn, and let's have a little recap on the last chapter that we read.
The last chapter, we went over Sir Walter Raleigh, and we found out that he had a half-brother named Mr. Gilbert. I forget the first name. Something Gilbert.
Okay.
Hold on, let me...
You talking about Grenville?
No, it was Gilbert who was his half-brother.
Oh, Gilbert.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. His half-brother... They mentioned his half-brother,
Early.
Yeah. Sir Humphrey Gilbert. Sir Humphrey Gilbert was Sir Walter Raleigh's half-brother, and we went over how we kind of had a little end discussion after the chapter, trying to put together the context clues of what the chapter gave us, because at the time, Sir Walter Raleigh and friends were trying to colonize Roanoke, which is the bottom half of North Carolina, and it turns out that there was two other colonization attempts that tried to happen before the Roanoke disappearance. The famous Roanoke disappearance happened, and apparently the Spanish were coming to attack and take out these new colonies that England had put out there via Sir Walter Raleigh, Mr. Humphrey Gilbert, and also of Mr. Grenville
yeah.
as well, who left a troop of military men there to protect the colonists. And when they all returned to go to England, Mr. John White, John White from Pocahontas and all that, he was in charge.
Smith. That's John Smith.
Yeah.
But his real name was actually John White.
Is it? No.
Mm-hmm.
Can we look that up? Can we look that up to confirm that real quick?
I'm pretty sure, historians, in the, History Channel and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that they actually, went over that.
Well, let's see here, alright? Because all I'm thinking about is South Park and the Whites. Mr. White would never do such a thing like that to lie on his name. This is not the white thing to do.
White guy.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. Kinda. That's so PC of you.
It was the Google search.
And you
saw what I tried to type in.
Yeah, and you clicked
I also
it.
saw what you clicked on.
Yeah, I'm about to say, but what you clicked on.
Because it was funny.
Sit on.
I wanted to see what it brought up.
Thank God safe search is on.
Yeah. Multiple white guys from Pocahontas.
Multiple white guys.
But we're looking for one in particular.
Even the Google search was like, oh, white guy. Which one?
Well, that was Bing. It wasn't even Google.
Okay.
I know. It said Bing. I got an idea.
John White, John that married Pocahontas.
John White, the John that married Pocahontas. I don't think that's John Smith.
John White.
That's John Smith.
It is John Smith.
I'm telling you, John Smith is a real person.
I don't think so.
I guarantee you. Babe.
Who was John White's wife? Okay, there we go.
Pocahontas.
John White.
Pocahontas.
John White's exact date of birth is not known. Okay. I said, who was he married to? I didn't need all this. Okay, spouse, Thomas and Cooper. Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, it was not Pocahontas.
Thomas.
Okay. Okay, well, then I was wrong. I was wrong. I had a stupid moment.
You did. It's okay.
I had a stupid moment.
We love you. Even though you went to a museum and learned about Miss Pocahontas.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. We went to the Native American Museum at the Smithsonian in D.C.
Oh, yeah. I was more intrigued with the Aztecs and the Incas and
But they had a whole
Running Bull.
Mm-hmm.
I was more fascinated with Running Bull.
And that was right there representing Pocahontas.
They didn't show me that kind of stuff when I went to Washington, D.C.
Well, we didn't go on a tour or anything. Like, we just walked up in there, and it's just there.
Yeah, Smithsonian's are free. All you do is walk in.
Mm-hmm.
That's the beautiful thing about D.C.
I think they're free on Sunday.
No, they're free every day.
They're free every day?
It's free every day. It's just free parking on Sunday.
Oh, free parking on Sunday. Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
I went on a 5th grade field trip.
Did you go to the Air and Space Museum too? What kind of freaking field trip is that? You're going to the Smithsonian and you're supposed to go to that whole little block of like 8 different darn museums, and you only went into 2?
Like 3.
That's dumb. I would have gone into all 3. All 8.
We saw monuments though.
Of course, they're on the way though. But they're on the way though. Anybody can see the monuments. They're on the way.
When we
That
went
was
to
the main
DC,
thing.
I still didn't get to see all the monuments. I just got to see the museums.
Didn't even get to go in the White House.
No, didn't get to do that either.
No. The too many.
But you're not really allowed to do that anymore.
Well, that's because when we went, let's just say we still had those protesters with the signs, and then we met Gary. Gary was the dude that was legitimately just posted up right in front of the White House with all his controversial signs and everything. And he actually gave...
Oh, yeah. Craig. Not Gary. Craig. That was his name. Craig. Yeah, the dude... so we met this guy... Okay, well, hold up. Let me back it up just a little bit. So Nick and I were walking down the street, and we were looking for the dispensaries. Like,
is this DC?
Because it was DC.
And I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't drink.
Yeah, he doesn't drink, and I don't really drink either. So we smoke whatever. But
recreational use in DC.
So we were looking for the recreational places, the dispensaries in DC. And, we're looking online, and every store that we, go to, the address is, those stores don't exist there anymore. So we were like, WTF. And so Nick and I were just talking about it amongst ourselves, not talking very loudly. And this woman that was, walking by us just so happened to hear us. Her name was Crystal. So we became really good friends with Crystal in, 10 minutes. And then she's like, oh, y'all gotta meet Barry, my boyfriend. He is, they know him as King Weedy in D.C. And we're like, huh? And she's like, yeah, he's cool with everybody that owns every dispensary and every other person that, smokes in the entire, area.
DC area.
So we were like, no freaking way. She's just blowing smoke, And then we actually, followed her to their apartment. Well, it was Craig's apartment. And we meet Barry, and we talk with them for a little while. And then Barry was like, y'all want to go out for a walk? And we were like, screw it. Sure. Show us around DC. He's like, cool, I'll be your tour guide. And he was, so excited to be our tour guide, though. And then... we go into a few of the smoke shops, and no kidding, every single owner of a smoke shop would be like, hey, King Weedy! We couldn't believe it. Mm. This dude was literally the king of weed or whatever in DC. We had a wild time with him. We went, a little, on our way back to the apartment, we went somewhere where we ended up having to cross the street, and there was a stop sign. There was this lady that was just trying to run the stop sign, almost ran us over. And so she starts, honking her horn at us as we're, trying to walk by, and apparently we were walking fast enough for her. So she's, laying in on her horn, mad as hell. What does Barry do?
He jumps on her hood.
He legit jumps on her hood and gives her the bird and wipes his butt all over her hood.
Sure you weren't in New York?
No, we were in D.C.
He said, that's how you gotta treat those kind of people, man.
I freaking lost it. I wish I caught it on tape. I wish I did.
That was even more funny. You had the Rasta sitting right there at the Penn's bar laughing the whole time.
Oh, yeah, the Rasta men that were sitting at the park bench. They were like, yeah, King Weedy, you tell that what she do. You tell her what she doing wrong. I was like, oh my goodness. And then one of the two Rasta men was like, hey, King Weedy, you want to dance? It's dance time. And he's like, oh, not today, not today. He's like, come on, you know you want to. And then Barry was like, alright, fine, just 5 minutes. And then Barry's just sitting there dancing with the Rasta dudes in the middle of the damn... just in the middle of the sidewalk. It was a blast. After we met Barry, it was a blast. It was a blast, bro.
Yep, and then I hang out with Barry, then you and Crystal hung out at the apartments, at Craig's apartments, when me and Barry met Craig at the front of the White House.
Mm-hmm.
And Barry was telling me all the places, because Barry told me, yeah, I'm homeless, man, if you can't tell. And I'm like, no, I couldn't tell, but yeah, I guess so. He was like, no, you see that statue right there? Yeah, I slept right there at that general's feet. His feet were... And I was like, dude, why are you telling me this? Oh, I don't know, I'm bored.
We met some very interesting people.
Very interesting, yes.
Well.
Yes, and then Barry was the one that convinced Craig to give up one of the signs to one of the damn protesters.
Mm-hmm.
And Greg was not giving up. He was like, no, I'm not giving up one of my damn... This is legitimately my post. Legitimately, I have this whole little tent set up with all these signs right here, not for someone to take or buy off me, just for them to see what's going on. And Barry's like, well, how are you going to get your idea across if no one else is going to, if someone else doesn't have sharing your ideas?
And then Craig apparently, was convinced by this.
Of course. No, honestly, Craig was just ready to give Craig was ready for Barry to go away or retire deal. So he just gave him the sign because Barry was not going to let up.
Mm-mm. Barry is a very persuasive person.
He sounds like it. He gave all of his stats into charisma.
Mm-hmm.
For real. He is a character. Bro, he's that crazy dude that is like, you know, the off the wall guy in the group. He's the wild card. Takes nothing seriously.
That could be a problem and a good thing at the same time.
Yeah. So.
But enough about adventures about Barry and friends and DC adventures.
Oh yeah, and I have one more special announcement, y'all. One of my friends wrote a book. Here we go. It's called Another View. I'm gonna be putting it in the description link down below. It's a very good book. The title that, or like the phrase that they put out, the authors did. Well, not the authors, but the marketing place, the publishers. They put this quote up there, and it really like sums up the book really well. I am not what happened to me. I am who I choose to be. I'm not what happened to me. I am who I choose to be. That is, like, so powerful, and that feels like a motto for my own life, too. Because I've had a lot of really crappy things happen to me, just like the character in this book. And, you know, I rose above it and was a better person and became who I am today from it. I'm not what happened to me. I'm who I choose to be.
That's
so,
awesome.
This book is a really big, great inspiration. It's a really good book. It's the first one that my friend has ever written before. Y'all should check it out.
As you can hear, it's King approved.
And it's King approved. Alright, with that little announcement out of the way, let's move on to today's content.
America, a Narrative History. Chapter 2. And we shall indulge in with England and her colonies. The England which Elizabeth bequeathed to her successor, like the colonies it would plant, was a unique blend of elements. The language and the people themselves mixed Germanic, Germanic and Latin ingredients. The Anglican Church mixed Protestant theology and Catholic forms in a way unknown on the continent, and the growth of royal power, paradoxically, had been linked with... Paradoxically.
Paradoxically. Oh, yeah.
Paradoxically. Trust me, that was the word I was like reading like for like 10 minutes.
It's a paradox.
Yes, it is. Had been linked with the rise of English liberties, in which even Tudor monarchs took pride in the course of their history. The English people have displayed a genius for muddling through, a gift for the pragmatic compromise that defied logic but in the light of experience somehow worked. Now we go into the English background. Set off from the continent by the English Channel, that moat defensive to the house, in Shakespeare's words, England had safe frontiers after the union of the English and the Scottish crowns in 1603. In her cooperative in isolation, England developed institutions to which the continent had few parallels, except perhaps among the Dutch. By 1600, the decline of feudal practices was far advanced. The great nobles, decimated by the War of the Roses, had been brought to heel by Tudor monarchs and their ranks filled with men loyal to the crown. In fact, the only nobles left, strictly speaking, were those few peers of the realm, who sat in the House of Lords. All others were commoners, and among their ranks the aristocratic pecking order ran through a great class of land-holding squires, distinguished mainly by their wealth and bearing the simple titles of esquires and gentlemen, as did many well-to-do townsmen.
Fun fact, y'all. So apparently, rumor has it that on my mom's side of the family, their last name Russ comes from the royal family that was, you know, in the war, in one of the, you know, on one of the two sides of the War of the Roses.
She was one of the Roses.
Mm-hmm. That's where the name Russ comes from. It comes from Rose, but with the strong accents that they had back then. And when they came over here to America, it got changed to Russ. So supposedly I'm royalty. We were the side that lost the war.
Ah.
Yeah. Because otherwise I'd be a princess.
You would be, but would the question is though, would America be America though?
No, it would not. Maybe.
No.
Maybe America still would have.
No. Probably not. Probably would still be under England rule, and we all have to say, "Hey, to your Majesty," and you will be farmed off to a prince, and me and Tyler will be commoners and picking up mud and cow shit.
Well, good thing I'm not a princess, and good thing that didn't happen, and a good thing I got to meet you.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, enough lovey-dovey for the stuff. They, in turn, mingled freely and often intermarried with the classes of yeomen, small freehold farmers and merchants. English liberties. It was to these middle classes that the Tudors looked for support and for want of bureaucrats or a standing army for local government. Chief resilience Chief reliance in the English countries was on the country gentlemen, who usually served without pay. The government therefore allowed... Bless you.
Oh, sorry guys.
You okay?
Yeah.
Are you sure? You need a tissue? You have an issue?
No, I don't have an issue. I don't need tissue.
Okay, just want to make sure. Government therefore allowed a large measure of local initiative, self-rule in the counties, and towns became a habit, one that, along with the office of justice of the peace and sheriff, English colonies took along as part of their cultural baggage. Even the Tudors, who acted as aristocrats, preserved the forms of constitutional procedure. In the making of laws, the king's subject consisted through representatives in the House of Commons. By customs and practice, the principle was established that the king taxed his subjects only with the consent of Parliament, and by its control of the purse strings, Parliament would draw other strands of power into his hands. This structure of habit brought him down from president to form a constitution that was not written in one place, or, for that matter, not fully written down at all. The Magna Carta of 1215, for instance, had been a statement of privilege wrested by certain nobles from the king, but it became part of a broader tradition that the people as a whole had rights which even the king could not violate. A further buttress to English... Buttress. I mean, B-U-T-T-R-E-S-S. Buttress. A further buttress to English liberty was the great body of common law, which had developed since the 12th century in royal courts, established to check the arbitrary caprice of local nobles. Without laws to cover every detail, judges had to exercise their own ideas of fairness in settling disputes. Decisions once made became precedent for later decisions, and over the years a body of judge-made law developed, with more of experience than of abstract logic. Though the courts, the principle evolved that a subject could be arrested or his goods seized only upon a warrant issued by a court, and that he was entitled to a trial by a jury of his peers or his equals, in accordance with established rules of evidence. Pretty much, that's how the foundations of how they did their courts were after the War of the Roses, because there was no such thing as a real king in England during this time, so there was a bunch of Tudors.
So the one time that England didn't really have a king at one point, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least I never realized that. Maybe that was, well, yeah, that was during the War of the Roses. If you have the two kings fighting over who's king, technically there's no king. Yeah, I can see that.
And that's what they call it. And then the ones that call them kings are really Tudors. And they were the ones that preserved the forms of constitutional procedures in making the laws for the king's subjects. So basically,
so they were like the king's noble advisors in a way.
In a way, but they ran their own lands and made parliament. Like
they made congressmen, royal congressmen, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. But they had no real rules or like laws to know things that said the difference between human rights and everything else, except for the Magna Carta. Because even it says it right here, there was really not a place written in one place, or for that matter, not fully written down at all.
And the best example that we got is the Magna Carta.
Of 1215. Which was, a statement of privilege that's weighted upon the nobles and the king. And that gave the commoners right that even the king can't violate.
Yes. Pretty much giving a little power to the people. Because, like I said in previous episodes, I mean, how can you be a king if you don't have any subjects? If your subjects don't have an ounce of power and that's what they want, then how are you as a king going to know, like, what your people want, what they actually need, if, there's not some kind of, power to the people where they can have access to the king in order to be able to communicate their discontents.
And that's where Parliament will come into play, and even the idea of going to court with a jury. Mm-hmm. That also came into play too, the idea of that.
So this, I guess, is where we get, our modern day courts from.
Now, so move on with the English enterprise. The liberties of Englishmen inspired a certain intensive... Blah, 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 blah. Let me read that. The liberties of Englishmen inspired a certain initiative. Yeah, no, I'm just stumbling on my own words. The liberties of Englishmen inspired a certain initiative and vigor of which prosperity and empire were born. The ranks of entrepreneurs and adventurers were constantly replenished by the young sons of the Squire Archie.
Mm-hmm.
Squire Archie, yeah. Squire Archie. Squire Archie.
Squire Archie.
Archie.
Squire Archie. There's a hierarchy of squires.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yes, there actually was.
Decree. No. I decree.
No, I decree. I'm the youngest son. We're all young sons here. It's the squire here, right? Well, you want to solve the squire with the squirrel?
Well, the squirearchy was a real thing. So how it went was that you kind of like... A squire was where you needed to start out in order to start the processing of...
Being a knight.
Mm-hmm. So you would have pretty much stable boy, and then...
A squire!
Pretty much. And then you would become like a next level squire, and then a next level squire. It was like... You have more and more responsibilities the higher up the squire hierarchy that you went. And eventually you got to the top squire, where the next step would be knight.
I put the helmet on the knight's head, for therefore I am the most...
I polished the helmet for the knight's head.
Well, I properly placed it on the knight's head to keep him safe.
I polished his entire armor sets and set it upon his head.
I sharpened his sword.
I sharpened his sword.
But I re-armored his shield.
But I re-armored his horse.
Ooh.
I cleaned his horse's shit.
I cleaned his horse.
I feed his horse.
I water his horse.
I bathe his horse.
I shower with his horse.
I breed his horse. How about that? How about that? I swear, I will be
breeding them horses, Nicholas? Huh?
Only for certain nights. Because I want to be a knight myself. How far will I go with a scar archery?
Scar archery.
I can't with you.
I'm just saying, I will do forever what my knight asked me to do.
Including breed his horse.
Times are different back then. You had royalties marrying their cousins. You think bestiality was the only way? He gets, man.
Oh, I can't. Oh, I just can't. Oh, fuck. Oh, fudge.
So I continue.
Sure, Brayder. Sure.
Cut off from the estate which the eldest son inherited by the law of pre-Montecure. Oh, there was that word I was trying to find earlier today. By the law of pre-Montecure, or firstborn. The growth of commerce featured at first the growth of the trade in wool and clothes built up after 1400, by the Company of Merchant Adventurers, which greatly expanded markets on the continent, working chiefly through Antwerp. The company was the prototype of the regulated company, actually a trade association of merchants who sold on their own accounts under regulation of the company, which secured markets and privileges. With time, however, investors formed joint stock companies, ancestors of the modern corporation, in which stockholders shared the risk and profits sometimes in a single venture, but more and more on a permanent basis. When the closed market became saturated in the mid-1500s, English merchants began to scan broadened horizons for new outlets, new goods, new patterns of trade, and found themselves incurring greater risk. Some of the larger companies managed to get royal charters, which entitled them to monopolize in certain areas and even governmental powers in their outposts. The Muscovy Company. Muscovy. Let me see.
Muscovy?
Muscovy, right here. Muscovy,
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Something like that.
The Muscovy Company.
Probably Russian.
Yeah, probably.
Moscovy.
Muscovy.
Muscovy.
The Muscovy Company. Muscovy Company
Muscovy.
of 1555.
Moscow.
The Levant Company of 1581. The Barbary Company of 1585. The Guinea Company of 1588. Guinea. No, it's Guinea.
Guinea?
Yeah, it's Guinea. See? Guinea.
1588.
And the East India Company, 1600.
The East Indian Trading Company?
I guess. Of 1600.
Which is round about the time that Pirates of the Caribbean is set. That's where some of our entertainment gives away little truth crumbles.
But companies like these would become the first instruments of colonization.
And what was the East Indian Trading Company known for in Pirates of the Caribbean? Oh, wait! Same thing.
It was all for the valued glories of English liberty and enterprise.
Bing!
What
do they say in every one of their decrees that they read out?
But it was not the best times for the common people of the realm.
Nope.
For more than 2 centuries, serfdom had been on the way to extinction, as the feudal duties of serfs were commuted into rents. But while Tennessee gave a decree of independence, it also gave landlords the ability to increase demands, and as the trade in woolen products grew, to enclose farmlands and evict the tenants in favor of sheep. The enclosure movement of the 16th century thus gave rise to the great numbers of sturdy beggars and rogues who peopled the legislator of Elizabeth times and gained immortality in Mother Goose. Hark, hark, the dogs do bark. The beggars have come to town. The problem was met only in part by Elizabeth's poor laws, which obligated each parish to care for its own, a practice passed on to the colonies, and the needs of this displaced population became another argument for colonial expansion. The more because the cloth market weakened and the nation's economy sought other outlets. Whew. Wow.
So they're looking for new malls.
Yes. Yes, because all the beggars were making us a lullaby into a hit. Mother Goose. Can you imagine that? That's why Mother Goose was such a big hit, because all the beggars. Oh, jolly good. Here are all the beggars coming into town. But the dogs bark and the hark hark.
That's pretty bad.
I mean, think about Ring Around the Rosies. Don't get no worse than that.
Yeah, it's about the Black Plague.
Yeah.
But we sing that plentifully, especially in elementary school, especially in a big round circle.
Ashes, ashes, we all fall down.
Yeah! Did I die yet?
No, it's not. Yay! It's more like.
Now, we shall go into the English Civil War.
Poof.
With the death of Elizabeth, the Tudor line ran out and the throne fell to the first of the Stuarts. whose destiny spanned most of the 17th century, a turbulent time during which, despite many distractions at home, the English planted on an overseas empire. In 1603, James VI of Scotland, son of the ill-fated Mary, Queen of Scots, and great-great-great-grandson of Henry VII, became James I of England, as Elizabeth had planned. A man of ponderous irritation.
Money?
Irritation?
Erudition.
James fully earned his reputation as the wisest fool in all of Christendom. He lectured Englishmen on every topic but remained blind to English traditions and sensibilities. Where the Tudors had wielded absolute power through constitutional forms, the learned James demanded a more constant logic and advanced at every chance the theory of divine right, beginning with a lecture to his first Parliament. Where the Puritans hoped to find a Presbyterian ally, they found instead a testy aristocrat. No bishop, no king, he told them, and promised to hurry them out of the land. He even offended Anglicans by sensibly deciding to end Elizabeth's war with Catholic Spain, and old privateers by suppressing what had now become piracy. Charles I, who succeeded his father in 1625, proved even more stubborn about royal prerogative.
Yep.
Ruled without parliament from 1628 to 1640. Oh, this man said, screw the parliament. Y'all don't get no say. The people don't get no say. You don't get to have a court. He threw that out and leveled taxes by royal decree. The Archbishop of Canterbury. Cranberry. It was Canterbury.
Zombie. What's in your head?
It was Canterbury.
What's in your head?
William Laud directed a systematic persecution of Puritans, but finally overreached himself when he tried to impose Anglican worship on Presbyterian Scots. In 1638, Scotland rose in a revolt, and in 1640, Charles called Parliament to rally support and raise money. The long Parliament, new elections have been delayed now for 20 years. Impeached, Laud instead condemned to death the King's chief minister, the Earl of Strafford, and abolished the prerogative courts. Established by the Crown in 1642. When the King tried to arrest 5 members of Parliament, civil war broke out between the Roundheads who supported Parliament and the Cavaliers who supported the King.
The house divided indeed.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Good lord.
We're taking away the Parliament. You ain't taking away shit. We're the Cavaliers. No, we're the Roundheads.
I'm the highest in the squirearchy.
No, yeah, we do the most shafting around here because we're round-headed. So whoever gets shafted is us because we're round, not the calves. Let that sink in. Yes, let it sink.
I just hope that one squire stops shafting the horses.
I don't think he will. I don't think he got the memo yet.
He didn't understand the assignment.
He quite understood, but I think he overworked the horse.
That's failed successfully.
Only the horse breeder would know.
We ain't seen him for days. He been in the stable for days. But anyway.
He probably got stuck somewhere.
I'm inside the horse.
I do believe the knight said not to put your head in that spot. Nor do I think he means the other head neither. Even though it's quite round, you darn round head.
I can't. Oh my god.
Remember, I'm trying to get through the Civil War right now.
Civil War indeed with shafted horses.
No, with round heads.
And disappearing speeders.
Well, the horse breeders are obviously for the king.
Yeah, the shaft is so brown head. Sorry, it doesn't get any better. It doesn't get any better.
Well, I shall continue.
Brown heads on horses, huh?
Fighting against the Cavaliers.
Oh, God.
Now, in 1646, royalist resistance collapsed and parliamentary forces captured the king. Parliament, however, could not agree on a permanent settlement. A dispute arose between Presbyterians and Independents, who preferred a congressional church government, and in 1648, the new model army purged the Presbyterians, leaving a rump parliament, which then investigated the trial and execution of Charles I on charges of treason. Oliver Cromwell, commander of the army, became in effect a military dictator. Oh, so we go from king to dictator now, huh? Military dictator. Ruling first through a council chosen by Parliament.
A dictator.
So there was the horse breeder. There he was.
He got up the hierarchy, the dictator.
I told you I was the highest on the squire.
Says the male breeder squire. Of course. How else would I know what kind of dictator I was going to be?
I had to become one first.
Oh my.
Oh God.
And after forcible dissolution.
Oh my goodness.
And after forcible dissolution of Parliament, as Lord Protector, the Protectorate, Cromwell extended religious tolerance to all except Catholics and Anglicans, but his arbitrary governance and his moralistic codes made the regime more and more unpopular.
I wonder why. Nobody likes a dick. Tater.
When after his death in 1658, his son, proven too weak to carry on, the army once again took control, permitted new elections for Parliament, and supported the restoration of the monarchy under Charles II, son of the martyred king in 1660. Oh, so we're going back to Charles, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Charles accepted terms of the restoration settlement, the principle that he must rule jointly with Parliament, and managed by tact or shewed, maneuvering to hold his throne.
You mean showed?
Showed. Maneuver.
I know, they wrote it weird back in the day.
Yeah, see, I knew I was going to slaughter it. Maneuvering to hold his throne. His younger brother, the Duke of York, was less flexible.
The Duke of York?
Yes, the York of Duke, was less flexible, succeeding as James II in 1685. He openly avowed Catholicism and assumed the same unyielding stance as the first two Stuarts. Englishmen could bear it so long as they expected one of his Protestant daughters, Mary or Anne, to succeed him. But in 1688, the birth of a son who would be reared a Catholic finally brought matters to a crisis. Leaders of Parliament invited Mary and her husband William of Orange, a Dutch prince. William of Orange. So was William pretty orange, or was he that big screaming orange man that everyone was talking about?
Wait, that can't be the same.
Mary and her husband William of Orange, a Dutch prince, to assume the throne jointly, and James fled the country.
Is that the same William and Mary that founded the William and Mary College? Hold on, I gotta... Because that sounds so familiar to me.
I'm just a squire. That's a horse breeder. I don't know nothing.
How was I gonna word that question?
Is Mary and William the same Mary and William that founded the University of Mary?
And William
College. Founded by Mary and William.
Richard Blaine College of William and Mary.
Just look up who the founders are.
William and Mary. James Blair.
Founder of William and Mary College.
From 1656 he was born, and on 1743 he died in Williamsburg, Virginia.
So, yeah. They're not the founders, but the person that founded this college founded it in their honor.
Of course, because, you know, Williamsburg we gotta have so many honorables to these royals. After we done severed off to them. Like I said, I have nothing against England, but my four founding fathers cut ties with y'all, and I don't know why we keep coming back to y'all.
I mean, the evidence of English rule is still, like, everywhere.
I know.
England's touch is everywhere.
They touched my mouse.
They did touch our mouse. They own our mouse. They own our Mickey Mouse. That's the whole reason why Ron DeSantis couldn't, you know, do whatever he was trying to do with Disney, because, like,
cat's out the bag.
It turned out cat's out the bag that the Magic Kingdom is owned by the United Kingdom, so it's English land taking up American land residence.
Again.
Yet again.
Oh boy,
It's
governor.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh boy, governor. I did that a little too well, didn't I?
By this glorious revolution, Parliament finally established its independence of royal control. Under the Bill of Rights in 1689, William and Mary gave up their it was the same word that I got stumbled upon again. Prerogative. Prerogative is suspending laws, erecting special courts, keeping and standing army, or leveling taxes set by Parliament's consent. They further agreed to frequent sessions of freedom of speech in Parliament, freedom of petition to the Crown, and restrictions under excessive bail and cruel and unusual punishment. Under the Toleration Act of 1689, a degree of freedom of worship was extended to all Christians except Catholics and Unitarians. Although dissenters from the established church still had few political rights. In 1701, the Act of Settlements ensured a Protestant succession through Queen Anne, 1702 through 1727, and by the Act of Union in 1707, England and Scotland became the United Kingdom of Great Britain. So Scotland does not exist anymore. For now, it is the Great Kingdom of Britain. Under United Kingdom of Britain.
So I guess that's why on my actual, big map over
you ain't gonna find
that's
Scotland.
Right behind Tyler. Yeah, you're not gonna find Scotland. It's
not
on there.
Yeah, because Scotland don't exist anymore. British took it up. Sorry, Scots. Put up with your king, mate.
Man, that kind of. But then wait, when was the time of William Wallace? Hold up.
William Wallace was for Ireland.
No, that was Scotland.
Well, I guess.
Well, the morning to you.
Well, it don't matter because the Scots lost and is all for England now.
Yeah, William Wallace of Scotland. Let's see. 1270.
Yep, and guess what? We're all the way in 1600. He lost.
Man, he really kind of looks like you, babe.
Oh my God! No, he does not.
He kind of does.
No, he does not.
He kind of does.
Like, bruh, do you not see that? Like, for real, Zace.
Yeah. That's you.
That's you.
Yeah,
Apparently this one's
getting the animus for sure.
step granddad was related or is a descendant of William Wallace, but yet this one looks just like him.
Mm-hmm.
You look just like William Wallace, lad.
Yeah, I do, but...
What if you're the reincarnation of William Wallace?
And that explains why he can't keep his belly out of the horses.
They can fuck our wives! But they won't take over!
It's my constitutional right.
They can fuck our wives!
They can take our land! They can fuck our wives! But they can never take our freedom!
Now, William, do you really... I think you don't care. What about...
Great Mel Gibson movie. Love it.
But
Braveheart.
Yeah, but all of it was for nothing, because Scotland still succumbed to England.
Yeah.
About this book.
So they did take their lands and fuck their wives and took their freedom.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah, they did.
That's
why
bad.
Why the hell do you think that?
That's so bad.
Seriously, think that.
That's so bad.
You know what the IRS stands for in England?
Well, I know it stands for the Internal Revenue Service over here in America. What is it over there in the UK? Because they got funny words for everything.
Irrational Radical Scots, and they're a terrorist group. You're not allowed to say IRS in England. Because they're still a terrorist group that's that large in England that's trying to liberate Scots.
So when they said Joker doesn't fuck with the IRS, that's what they meant.
Yeah. I mean, you can look it up and double check it, but I'm pretty sure Deadliest War actually did a whole segment on them.
What?
Look them up.
Do what?
Look up. I believe it's called the IRS and damn terrorist group in England. Mm-hmm.
No way.
Thank you, Wikipedia.
And tax write-off.
Okay. I don't think it's called IRS.
Or the RIS?
Maybe it's RIS.
The risks.
Seriously though, or just look up England, Scottish terrorist group.
The English Mafia.
Seriously, but it's like a terrorist group that's in Scotland that's trying to liberate Scots from England still type shit. And it's kind of low key, kind of crazy. Ah, there it is.
The SNLA.
Well, that's a little bit different.
It is a little bit different.
It's SNL, just with A. The Scottish National Liberation Army, nicknamed the Tartan Terrorists. Tartan?
TARDIS?
Tartarus?
Mm-hmm.
Tartaria, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
Terraria, even?
Man, we all, do you know anything about the Legends of Tartaria? Okay, Legend of Tartaria, just real quick, is so Tartaria apparently used to exist, and it was at the height of technological advancement, like the time of Tesla and Edison. Apparently, the world's fairs and everything, our world used to be so different.
Yeah,
and at one point it was known as Tartaria, or somewhere was known as Tartaria. And it was this highly advanced civilization that had all these, big gadgets and gizmos that were invented by all these big inventors, apparently Tesla being one of them.
Look it up. Show it.
I'm not sure if, Tartaria. America used to be Tartaria or something like that. Tartarian Empire. The Tartarian Empire refers to a group of pseudo-historical conspiracy theories, including ideas of a hidden past and mud floods, which originated as pseudo-scientific Russian nationalism. Tartary or Tartaria is a historical name for Central Asia and Siberia. Okay, so that was over there in the west, or in the east. In the east. Excuse me, in the east. I mean, well,
look.
Technically, if we're on a round sphere and we're not on a flat Earth, then if we're on a round sphere, then technically I am correct. Because these specific places are to the west side of the United States, not the east side. The east side of the United States is all Europe and Africa. If the world is round, technically I'm right.
I'm done. I am done.
If the world is round, technically I'm right.
I am done. Because then you know what? There's no such thing as east anymore. We're going to go west.
I was going to go west.
West. I mean, come on, think about it. Seriously.
Okay, and then you
know what? You know what? Look. If you were to take this map and bring it all the way around, you would have Russia and Asia and China all on this side, on the western side of the United States. And then over here, on the eastern side, you have Europe, Africa, and Spain, and all them over here. And Greenland. You would have these guys to the east, the other to the west. If we are on a flat Earth, then yes, you boys would be correct. That's just all east. But for you just to say, if we live on a round planet, for all this just to only be east, then what do you call this way then? I thought this way was west, which you go from here to get there.
Correct. But most people don't go to the Pacific way around because of how dangerous the terrain is, how much longer travel it is.
And the Grand Line, and
you know, and the Red Mountain.
Wait,
you know,
you just might have helped make sense of something else. That's the Grand Line. What if the Pacific side of our ocean is the quote Grand Line from One Piece? What if Tyler's right? I mean, we have been tracking that there is a lot within One Piece that has to do with our history, and it is real people,
Pacific,
real captains.
Yeah, and the Pacific Ocean is known as the All Blue.
Really?
No, it's not. No, but you actually look at the map there, and then you look at all of it. All the oceans meet up to the Atlantic.
Well, no, it wouldn't be East Blue.
No, won't be on the West Blue. The All Blue. Blue.
Maybe.
And also the Grand Line is the Great Equator. That's why that's if you look up the Grand Line and the equator and all that and the coordinates, that's where each Oda did his comparisons.
That's actually really cool.
With the equator and the
And the red line?
Mm-hmm.
Then what's the red line?
The red line is
If the Grand Line is the equator.
Longitude, latitude.
But they had to get over like a physical wall to get to the other side of the red line, so
can you not have imagination? Can we not have a giant wall? Can we not?
I'm just saying,
Can you not have a giant mountain to divide everything? In that world, the red line was their latitude.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, look it up. I mean, you can also look it up and see what does the the red line represent in real world, or what was the red line inspired by in One Piece. Trust me, it will tell you. I'm telling you, it will tell you it all. And before we assume and jump out the gate and who's wrong and right, let's go ahead and cite our sources real quick.
Red line theory. Well, red line.
The science show.
In real life. What's the red line is a massive continent that surrounds the One Piece world like an enormous ring, splitting the globe and separating the four seas. This landmass is the venue of some important sites, including Reverse Mountain and the world government's capital city, the Holy Land of Marijois.
Inspiration. There you go. One Piece red line inspired by not Fred.
Oh. So the red line is a theory that represents the world serpent inspired by Jormungandr from the Norse mythologies.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
That's freaking cool. So again, we tie in how there might be other worlds outside of the known world that we know.
And there's images of the red line, so you have an idea.
Oops.
There you go.
Well, I guess, yeah.
That's the best. That's the red line. I'm a
hopes and dreams.
Anunnaki?
That is not a One Piece.
That's not One Piece.
No, it's not. What kind of map is
What
this?
in the world is this?
This ain't no red line map. What kind of map is this?
I don't know what this is. Angel Forge, Coven Mount, Pyquik, Elderloft, Gold Rin, Griffin Rim, Middleskirk, Galefall, Rosenlow, Tarsal Keep, Ironfall, Ishta Drift.
That is not a One Piece
What
map.
in the world is this?
Not a One Piece map.
That's
Not
I don't know
inter-
what that is.
Not interested.
I don't know.
Put down One Piece map. Let's see where that comes out.
Well, that's what this one was. Nah, well, that's all we're gonna get.
The red line. Anyways,
Yeah.
how about that one right there on the right, bottom right there?
Bottom right here.
No.
Oh.
To the right. Go to your right. Go to your right. To your right.
There?
That one's a good one too. I'll sing more. There you go.
So that's the grand line here.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is the red line.
Yep.
So then they had to cross either from here to here to over.
Well, you gotta remember they made a whole loop around the red line too. To go to the new world. Cause they meet up with Labu.
That's true. Very interesting though.
Yes, very
To
interesting.
see how that's, set up like that.
Mm-hmm. Like a hollow world. A whole new world.
I mean, in the Emerald Tablets, Thoth does say that the Earth is a world of worlds. It's a world
But-
within worlds.
Yes.
So
Now,
it is a portal of some sort.
and with that, y'all, we will close the episode.
We hope you liked it, and if you made it this far, leave us a like and a subscribe, and tell us what you thought was the most interesting part of the episode. What did you like the most? Leave your comments and questions in the comment section below.
And go Fins.
And go Fins! And also remember to check out my friend's book called Another View. It's a really, really good read. I will put it in the description down below. Yet again, down below. I'll put it down. And with that, we'll leave you with our famous slogan to live life with eyes wide open. Thanks, guys. We love you. Thank you for all the support, and we'll see you on the next one.
Hi, y'all.
And welcome back
To another episode of
Heye Consciousness.
I'm your host, Nick.
And I'm your co-host, Victoria, and we are Heye Consciousness. Oh, wait.
You did it again.
My bad.
You did it again. See, I didn't forget this time.
I know.
I-
I know.
Autopilot.
Nick's always remembering me.
Bullshit. He forgot you the last 2 times.
No. Well, guess what? You forgot this time.
I did forget this time. Okay. Let's do this again. We wouldn't tell you about the memes.
To always do them, because it's me.
I'm Mario.
Mario.
Okay. Welcome back, y'all.
To another episode.
Of high consciousness.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta tie you into it now. That's right.
Yeah.
It's like Team Rocket.
And then all of us would be like, and we are High Consciousness all together.
All right.
All right. One more time.
Uh-huh.
One more time.
Third time's a charm, right?
Yep.
Okay. See. Welcome back, y'all, to another episode.
Of High Consciousness.
And we totally messed that up
Yep.
again, because I did this.
Yep, you did it. Welcome back to another episode of High Consciousness.
Okay. Are we doing it again?
Yes.
Okay.
4th time's the charm.
Don't worry, I have editing skills. I got
Yeah.
I just had to cut 5 minutes of video. It's fun.
It's always fun.
3 minutes. Okay, now it's 4.
And I had a blooper reel to do the.
Well, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Now it's 3 minutes. You got to think about the intro.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Hi, y'all.
And welcome back
To another episode of
High Consciousness.
I'm your host, Nick.
Boys.
I know, we're dead inside.
We're
supposed to be in unison here.
We've been in the office too long. I don't know where I'm supposed to chime in. What's my line?
We need to work on it.
What emotion am I feeling?
I'm
Well,
feeling
excited because we're putting on another episode, and we're happy to see the people.
Yeah.
I can work with that.
That's why I'm putting on a scene face right now every time.
So he says, "Hi, y'all," and he says, "Welcome back." I say to another episode of all three of us in unison. Heye Consciousness.
Or we could just do the Team Rocket style. Hi, y'all. Welcome back to an episode of Heye Consciousness.
Okay.
As soon as he says "of," we always say Heye Consciousness at the same time.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back
to an episode of, and we all say in unison, Heye Consciousness.
Okay.
I think that is best as smoothly as that's going to go. Or, what's what I'm looking for? Choreographically, how this is going to work.
To protect the world from devastation.
Yes. Alright.
And you have to, after I'm done with, and I'm your co-host, Victoria, and then you say, and I'm Tyler, your friendly editor. Or something like that. Whatever catchphrase you can come up with. Alright. One more time.
Alright.